So today we're talking about the throat chakra.
You guys haven't figured that out.
The next in the series, we just released the heart chakra episode, which is really good.
Every time we release an episode, I forget what has come out of our mouths. Even though even if we edit them like a week before, and then I'm just like still surprised.
I'm right there with you. And I was thinking about this too, that sometimes I find it challenging when people will come up to me in the community and be like, oh my God, I loved your latest episode. And I'm like, what was our latest episode? And then, I'm like, I need reference something that you heard. You know what I mean? Because part of the challenge with having something like a podcast is you can't retain every episode in what order, what information we talk about. Like there's no way to retain all of that, right? Like it's kind of like when we have sessions with clients, like it's ours to give the messages and be the conduit. But after the session's over, you cut those cords and you release it back. And so it's very much like that for the podcast too, where I'm like, even when you and I are riffing sometimes and like referencing or trying to remember what we've talked about, I'm like, I have to go back and listen. Like, I don't know.
Right.
So, but the one of the upcoming episodes, there is something that might be a core memory for a while.
I was telling a friend about that this morning at the gym, and she was like, I don't think she understood that the episode hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, this is why your YouTube page got shut down. And I was like, no, it hasn't been out yet.
Yeah.
But also, yes, this is why we're on Patreon now, because then we can.
Yeah. Well, also
talk about this stuff without getting.
Yeah. So speaking of YouTube, I do try to understand the platforms and like what each of them and their purpose are or their goals. They all have idiosyncrasies. So for YouTube, you can cuss in the video itself, but they don't like it like in written word in the description,
no captions,
in the titles, any of that, right? And one of the videos we posted was where we were like riffing on the MLMs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about like Pure Romance meets Pampered Chef meets Longaberger Basket, right?
Yeah.
And you had said vibes. You were like, you've said vibes, and now it's like making me think of like vibrators. We have gotten 2 views on that video. And all of the videos leading up to that, we've had hundreds, if not thousands of views. Not that video. We get 2. I even deleted it and re-released it without the word vibrator in it. And it's still.
They know.
I was like, oh, okie dokie.
And this is why we have multiple platforms.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Anyway, shall we welcome people?
Yeah. We need to get into this before we forget.
We're here for the throat chakra.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Welcome to Two Mystic Mamas. So,
I have my chakra necklace on.
I forgot mine. I had it on earlier in the week.
I love it.
It is so pretty, so wonderful. Yeah, so the throat chakra is naturally right in the middle of your throat. If you're joining us and this is the first chakra episode that you're joining us for, we have a whole bunch in the past. We started from the root chakra and came up the body. So root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, and now we're on the root.
We are going backwards, guys.
We've now made a complete circle. No, now we're on the throat. So the throat is a bright blue ball of energy. So
I love it because it's that like sky, ocean energy. And it can be more than just your throat too. It can encompass this whole area, this region of your shoulders, even your ears, your jaw, all of it.
The chakras bleed into each other. It's not like it's like a hard stop. So you have the heart below and then you have the third eye above, and that energy, it all kind of blends.
Right.
And we've talked in the past about like how different chakras work with each other. And it's my understanding that the throat and the solar plex chakra, they work hand in hand.
The solar what?
Oh my God. Bless. Everybody drink. If you missed that episode, I like to shorten solar plexus to just solar plex. Who needs the us? Fuck that. You don't need that extra 2 letters.
So I want to talk about something with the throat chakra, because the throat chakra isn't necessarily about speaking more. to me, the throat chakra is more about not worrying about how you're received when you are speaking. As I was doing research in this, one of the kind of angles that really spoke to me was that a lot of times our throat chakra tightens up, not because we don't know our truth, but we're afraid of being misunderstood. We're afraid of hurting anyone. We're afraid of conflict. We're afraid of being seen as too much, right? And so the throat tightens and we swallow our words, and our body then absorbs all of this energy. And I know for me, I get like when I get stressed, it is all right through here. Like my shoulders, 100%, my jaw take the brunt of it every time. Do you feel like, where do you feel tension in your body when you feel stress?
Typically in my lower body, in my lower back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Down in my root and in my sacral.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
It's not that I haven't felt it where you're talking about, because I go to the chiropractor and I get adjusted. And I will tell you, when I was working in corporate America, I had a lot more up in my upper body.
Right.
But since being on my spiritual path and on this journey with my career moving forward, I'm working and healing so much that a lot of my stress presents itself in my lower extreme, like in my lower back and in my root, because that's also where a lot of my stress is.
Oh, well, I mean, we spend so much time and energy that we don't realize editing ourselves in real life.
Mm.
And if you've ever walked into a room and you've kind of scanned the room to see if you're standing out too much or if you fit in, like this might resonate with you.
The interesting thing for me about the throat chakra, and I have always loved this, is your voice is unique to who you are. And so when you are talking, your inflection, your tone, that all has and carries a vibration that also has a frequency to it. And this is getting more into the science side of this. But when you use your voice and you are, say, you're in a good mood or you're in a joyous mood and you're happy and you want to share news, how does that come across? Like, how do you hear yourself when you're talking versus if you're angry or you're mad or you're sad or you're disappointed or you're in a lower frequency state of feeling? How does that voice change and what does that sound like? So the throat chakra is a complex chakra because you have all of these details that come into play when you're using it.
Yeah.
And you brought up a good point about the fact that like the throat chakra is your voice. It's your outside voice. It's what others hear. It's that uniqueness to yourself, but it's also your internal voice. And when you said about the throat chakra can go up higher above the throat and almost into the ears. And, you know, Jeff always says to our kids, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And it's to listen. And I think that not only is this an opportunity to listen to others, actively listen to others more, but actively listen to yourself as well. And what is your inner voice telling yourself? So when you activate the throat chakra, these are some of the experiences that will start to present themselves. Either you'll feel more inclined to outwardly talk to those around you and those in your community and those in your inner circle, and also you will go in.
It's interesting when you were talking about hearing yourself, right, in your voice. And I thought it was so interesting because when we are recorded in video or audio, we sound so much different than when we hear ourselves in our heads. And that was one of the biggest things that was hard for me to get over when we started the podcast.
I love how I sound on the podcast. I thought I would have that same, because you hear.
I do now too, but I did not when we started.
Right from the beginning, though. It was because I was anticipating that.
Right.
Because you hear actors and actresses that are like, I never watch myself on screen. Oh my God, no. Whatever. And it's like.
Please cut that one together too.
Just bring that out. But I was anticipating that too. And so when we started listening back to like editing, going through the editing process, I was like, I like the way I sound. And I was not anticipating that. And then I had a few close friends, Jeremy in particular, that was like, Rachel, your voice sounds great on.
That's
like,
awesome.
And he's a musician, right? So I was like, I found that to be like the highest form of a compliment because I can't sing worth shit, right? Like, but I think it was also really reaffirming for me that I was on my right path, because I've always, always, always loved to talk since I was teeny tiny itty bitty little tiny Rachel.
Right.
I have always loved to talk. I've always had something to say. I've always wanted to use my voice.
You've been messing up people's trivia games
Shocking.
for years.
Yes, that too. You can find me every Wednesday at Rusty Gold, just fucking people's games up left and right. So it felt very reaffirming when I also was like, man, I do like the way I sound.
I know. It's such a funny thing that we don't think about until you're in a place where you have to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're like, okay.
Now, I don't think I would necessarily, and this is more from just I would be standing in courage if I did this, but like being an MC or announcing things and hearing myself live, like
I have
echoing,
no problem with that.
I don't know what that experience, even though it's a microphone, right? And I can hear,
right?
I don't know if I would be like, oh, I still sound the same, or if I'm like, I sound like a dummy.
I have no problem public speaking. Like, I remember taking a public speaking class in high school and being absolutely fucking terrified. Now, put me up there. I have no problem.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a problem public speaking. I have a problem like hearing.
I see.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have public hearing problems.
Public hearings are not my jam. Okay.
Well, I mean, I think about this too. Evie has all the confidence in the world, right? She just had a show.
Yes.
She played at the Thunderbird.
Yes.
And she is such a performer. Like, it's kind of wild to me. And her confidence level when she gets on stage is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But she does not want to listen to a video of herself afterwards.
No
interest.
And you hear about these people too that love to do TED Talks or public speaking engagements, but off screen, they don't really love to like have like the interaction and the what comes along with that. And I think
I could see Evie being that way.
Yeah, I think that is fair, right? Because being famous, for the outside person, probably for a lot of people, it's like that's an aspiration. But when you become famous, and I'm sure if they did a study of super fucking famous people, they would all confirm that there's a lot of downsides to being famous.
Oh, 100%. I think it ties back into the nervous system, though.
For sure.
We learn at a young age that silence equals peace, that honesty equals punishment, right? Like, these are things, like, we're afraid to speak up. As much as we encourage our kids to speak up and advocate for themselves and everything, the other side of that for them is that they feel like they're,
ridiculed, they get made fun
by
of,
their peers, right?
Get bullied.
Right. Adults are like, yay! And kids are like, fuck off.
Yeah. No wonder they come home and they're like, you don't understand. You've never been here. It's like, well, I haven't in a couple decades, but what a wild place to be.
I know.
Lots of healing.
All right. So let's talk about what a blocked throat chakra looks like.
All right. Well, anytime you have a block in any of your chakras, right? So this is a visualization exercise, but if you visualize, all of the chakras are spherical balls of energy and they spin.
We're talking about blue balls now, guys.
That's right. Blue balls. Blue balls. They spin at a certain speed. And so it can be a slow speed, like so slow that it's like the earth moving.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't do it, Rach.
Let's talk about planets, people.
You guys, this is not an astronomy episode.
I'm not an astronomy expert, if you didn't know that. Or they can be moving at a faster speed.
Disco chakras.
And so these are the attributes that go with an underactive or overactive.
I think one can be feeling muted or invisible. I think sometimes people have like thyroid issues too that can go along with this.
Sure. People
pleasing, fear of confrontation. I mean, I just lost it. That's it. I'm broken.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're trying to talk about like if it's underactive or overactive, you always want to try to like find that balance.
Right, because they're both forms of dysregulation.
Correct.
Right.
You can also, if it's overactive, you can find that you're doing all of the talking.
Right, because while one hides, the other one is overcompensating.
Correct. And that has been a place where I have lived many a time because I use talking as a nervous response.
Right.
And I have still learning, but in certain circumstances, I am like, I've gotten so good at just allowing.
I feel like that comes with age too.
Pause. Oh, for sure.
Because you feel like you have to fill that silence a lot of times. If you are a more talkative person, right?
Because it's an impulse response.
You feel like you have to fill that silence when you're younger. And then you learn that you don't. And what comes with having to fill that silence, I think too, is you overshare and then you feel like super exposed and vulnerable. I mean, I definitely remember feeling that way when I was younger and then being like, oh God, can I have those words back? I don't want those out there in the world.
I was preparing for our next episode, and we'll get into this a lot, but I went to a parochial school. I went to a Catholic school, kindergarten through 6th grade. And a lot of my inner child work has to do with that specific time frame. And I used to be known as a tattletale. We've talked about this on other episodes, but so I would use my throat chakra to get other people in trouble because I was a rule follower. I was trying to keep everybody in line, which it's a control thing, right? And I remember vividly, there was a girl. She was the youngest of 3. Her and I were like oil and water. Ugh, we used to battle all the time. And she said shit on the playground. Mm-hmm. And I went right up to Sister Rita. And I was like, Arden said shit. Like all proud of myself. And naturally, Arden got in trouble because, you know, in parochial school, they didn't fuck around. Like they were by the books. Their rules, there was no gray area with those Catholic nuns. Nuns. There was nuns, okay?
Nuns. Gray area.
Nuns, yeah. So, and I look back on, because I've been really getting into some of these memories and like walking through some of these experiences that I created and looking at that child, that little Rachel, and acknowledging why she was doing some of these things.
Right.
And I still, as I aged, dealt with that too, where I would overshare or I would share in a strategic way to get people the karma that they deserved, even though that's not mine to
I see.
necessarily give. But I was always like this, you know, integrity driven, righteous, like, you will. But again, that was the whole thing with growing up Catholic too, where it was like, if you disobeyed God, then you were sinning and you were a bad person. And apparently on some level, Rachel also was like, I have to do the work of God.
God was a tattletale though.
But if you brought it to the right person, then they could attest for their sins and
right, that's the part forgiven. That's the part that gets me though. Right? If somebody is atoning for their sins to be forgiven, then they're not learning the lesson and not doing the thing in the first place. They're just doing whatever willy-nilly, saying shit on the playground, and then doing a bunch of Hail Marys and like, confessions, and then they're done.
I know. There's a bit of hypocrisy.
Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys know this.
Within organized religion. I mean.
Okay, so this week, our kids are growing up different, guys. Like they just are, right? And I mean, your kids are your children Catholic?
No.
Okay. I wasn't
not.
sure if you
Nope.
if you did
Much to my mother's chagrin, I have not had any of my children back. I thought I told you this was before Isla, but my mom was, riding me about getting them baptized. And I was like, I'm not Catholic anymore. Jeff is not Catholic. Like, why is this? And she's like, well, it's a sacrament. So I went in one night with holy water. I can't remember exactly, but I was like, I'm going to baptize. They were both sleeping. And I was like, I'm going to baptize you. And I just like told my mom, I was like, they're fine. Good is good.
Doing the work of God. No, tell, what the fuck?
So, no, my children,
Did you bless them with Tito's?
No, it was holy water.
So, there's a girl that was just trying to shove herself so far into Evie's life. And Evie is not about that at all, right? We've talked about this girl before. So, she comes home last week. And this girl called her a bitch on the bus. And Evie just looked at her and she was like, why do you care so much about me? And I was like, oh my God. I mean.
Solid response,
right? And I was like,
why are you so obsessed with me?
I know, I did. I was like, oh God, am I raising Regina George?
That's a far cry. But yeah. I think I love that.
I did too, because
no,
I don't know that I would have necessarily had the same response at 13 years old.
No, 13-year-old Rachel would have been like,
she called me a bitch.
I probably would have just had no response.
I mean, but Evie, her approach to it is so funny. It's almost like she was saying to me, when she's telling me, who does this bitch think she is? Mm-hmm. Without saying, who does this bitch think she is? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild place to be raising these humans.
Let's talk about some gentle ways to open and acknowledge our throat chakra, shall we?
Yes.
All right. One thing that I want to share is maybe sound before thinking about words. So humming is a really, really good way to, one, regulate your nervous system, and two, kind of start to work with that throat chakra energy a little bit. And I would say 60 seconds, just humming. And I know if you really dig into the chakras, there are mantras that I would say YouTube this, honestly, because I don't remember the sound that's associated with the throat chakra. Do you?
Well, it's spelled ham.
It is ham, but I don't know.
I don't know how that sounds.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because I feel it's different than Om. It's how you place your tongue within your mouth.
Ham. It's not that, guys.
Give me some ham. Ham.
Now sponsored by Isley's Chipped Ham, guys. Back to our humming.
Back to our ham humming.
Yes.
The humming of the ham. You are a ham.
New merch. The humming of the ham. This is how you realign your throat chakra. You hum to some Isley's Chipped Ham.
It says the mantra's, I think it's just, no, I think it's hum.
I think so too.
Oh my God. It makes me think of, this just made me bring up, oh my God, this is such a funny story. Oh, this is such a good story. Okay. I must tell the story right now because we're already talking about weird meat products. So one of my dear, dear, dear friends that I met when I first moved to Peters, her name is Mindy. She's Venezuelan and Japanese. Okay. Which is not as uncommon of a mixture as and I was like, that's such a bizarre combination. How did your parents meet? What? Because they're both first generation from Venezuela, from Japan, right? And they met at the University of Tennessee. what? Anyways, but apparently there's a lot of Japanese folks in Venezuela and vice versa. You know, I live in a weird little white bubble in, you know, suburban Pennsylvania. So anyways, Mindy is a phenomenal cook. Clearly her culinary expertise, you know, goes with all these cultures and they blend, which is also shocking. It's just like,
oh, that's cool.
And delicious. So we're at her son's first birthday, Koji. And I remember going because they had an older daughter that's the same age as Emmy. And I had met Mindy a couple times, but we were just starting to really become close. And I go to this birthday party and there is sushi and the food. I was just like, this is my kind of party. Then they started passing out shots. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday. I was like, this is my kind of party.
Don't you know I just blessed my kids with
day drinking and sushi. Night? Here we go. And Mindy's husband is from Hawaii. So I am eating this lovely new dish to me, which now it's like one of my favorites, but it's meat, rice, some fettuccine seasoning rolled in some seaweed, right? So I'm like eating this. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this is delicious. I'm like, what is this meat? This is so good. Like, I'm just going on. And Mindy keeps saying, spam. And I was like,
rhymes with ham, guys.
I was like, spam. I was like, what are you saying? I was like, is it like a pork derivative? Like, what is it? And she's like, spam. And I was like, you're saying spam. Spam? It's spam? I'm eating spam in a can? And she was like, yeah. She's like, it's like the national treasure of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? First time. So I was eating spam musubi, but because of her accent, she kept saying spam. So I actually had her in my phone for the longest time as Mindy Spam. She actually still might be in my phone as Mindy Spam. That story makes me laugh all the time because I was like, is this like a pork derivative? Like, what is this? What is this meat product? And then she told me it was spam, God. Which is not actually, I think it's meat byproduct.
Spam.
They have different flavors of spam. This particular,
is this like ramen noodles, like
yeah, but this particular flavor, I was like, I think it's a stretch. Pumpkin spice
spam.
Yes, yes. Pumpkin spice spam.
Pumpkin pie spam.
It's like, ew. I don't know. I
don't think I need that in my meat products, canned meat products, potted pumpkin spice.
I didn't even know we were going to come up with this story, but here we are. And anyways, Mindy and I became very dear friends and we bonded over that. And now it's like one of my favorite dishes. It's near and dear to my heart. Fucking love me some spam musubi. Spam.
Well, if you're trying to realign your throat chakra, I would recommend humming spam.
Yeah. There you go. You heard it here first.
Mystic mantras.
We're trend setting.
Mantras.
That's right. The throat chakra.
Spam.
But try to keep your mouth closed. I might have just snotted.
Oh my God.
Oh, another one is bee breath. It's a humming breath practice that creates internal vibration and activates the throat area, like you're a bee. Go ahead, do it.
Like bzz, like buzzing?
Yes, but like intentional.
I don't need any bee sounds in my life. Thank you.
It's going to be a trigger.
Trigger warning if you're allergic to bees and recently stung and ended up in the hospital
with anaphylactic shock.
Rachel would like to bring those memories back, guys. All right,
we need to wrap.
Yes. What are some supportive crystals and herbs that people can use if they're working on their throat chakra? Nothing. There's nothing you can use. You're fucked.
Well, I'm trying to think. You're asking me this question, but I did not prep for it. Well, anything crystal wise, anything that's blue, anything in the blue family.
Lapis lazuli,
That's a fun thing to say.
Ooh, Francisco. Blue lace agate.
Yes.
Blue calcite, aquamarine.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, there isn't a crystal like that I would say really works against you, but anything that would help you with your courage and standing in your courage would be another crystal that you could use.
Well, I want to remind you too, when you're using crystals or herbs, they don't do the work for you.
No, they just amplify your frequency.
Remind you.
Yep.
Exactly. It's the same thing with manifestation, right? Like you don't necessarily manifest something to you. You are attracting what you already embody, right? So just keep that in mind when you're using crystals and herbs. You're not going to just have a shitty attitude and not want to change and slap a blue crystal on your face and things are going to be different.
Right. I mean, like attract like. So you attract what you put out. If you want to change your frequency and or raise your frequency, use crystals to enhance it. So they can absorb yours and they can also give. So it's like a mutually beneficial relationship. I was going to say not so much herbs, but I know there are a few different oil blends that you can use that can help you stand in your courage, stand in your voice, help you to feel comfortable and confident using your voice to either speak to yourself or speak to others. You have Valor. You have Endoflex. These are just some that are coming off the top of my head. Lavender. Any of the oils, peace and calming, anything that brings your nervous system back to a calmer state or like a balance of where you feel grounded, those are going to be very supportive.
Right. Because remember, your voice is a bridge. You can do a lot of good with your voice. It's not a weapon. It's not a performance. It's a very beautiful, unique part of yourself. Some of the herbs would be chamomile, licorice root, peppermint, honey and warm water. My favorite as a vocal instructor to recommend is throat coat tea. And it does have licorice root, marshmallow root, and a bunch of other stuff in it. And it is, even if you don't like licorice, because it's just like a faint, it's so good. And that warmth is so softening, right? So especially with the throat coat, as you steep it for 10 to 15 minutes covered before you ever sip it. And I let it get a little bit cooler before I do, just so it doesn't hurt the vocal cords. But
correct. Yeah. That's a good practice. And that's another one where, just as a reminder, we've done episodes in the past talking about water, but you can speak intentions into the water as you drink them. And this isn't just for the throat chakra. This is for anything just in your day-to-day daily practice. It's a good exercise of just how you are nourishing your cells and speaking intentions into your life. Right.
The other thing that I read, which I found really interesting, is speak without needing resolution. And this is, I feel like this is like a life hack, right? Because you're opening your chakra by separating expression from outcome. So you're saying, I just need to name this, or I don't need you to fix this, or this is just what's true for me right now. And it's okay to speak that without having an outcome attached to it. Which I think a lot of times when we do edit ourselves, or whether you're underactive or overactive, if you're speaking too much, using your words too frequently, or you're not doing it enough, a lot of times that's because of you're either afraid of the outcome or trying to push an outcome, right? So if you separate the expression away from the outcome, I think it allows you to be more aligned and truthful with who you are and can start to like heal that.
I think that's a great exercise too. And just, yes, being vulnerable and open, but also allowing the universe to present the outcome. My experience when it comes to like my career growing up within a corporate setting is there's always going to be problems, and it's great if you can come up with the solutions. But I think you get trained into, if you don't come up with a solution, then you aren't bringing benefit to the situation. And there are different circumstances within your life that will present themselves, and the solution will not be clear. And the art is figuring out and differentiating those types of experiments, if you will.
Well, I think two things. One, speaking your truth doesn't necessarily mean agreement. And two, especially when you're talking about being in a corporate setting, your voice is not there to manage other people's emotions. And if you have the expectation that you need to speak in a way that doesn't trigger somebody, doesn't, set your boss off, doesn't make more work for you, like whatever it might be, then you're coming from a place of feeling like you need to manage the emotions or the outcome of what's happening when really you have no control over that.
Yeah.
We do it so much without realizing we're doing it.
Sure. It's like almost like autopilot.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring it on home.
Let's do it. Well, that's it. Brought it home.
Well, my recommendation as we wrap up this episode, we've covered a lot of ground. We always try very hard to give you guys tangible takeaways, tools that you can put in your toolbox, things that you can come back and revisit. And so I'm a big music kind of gal. I love music. I think that music, it transforms, it transmutes, it can take you from one place to another place. And
so quickly.
And so there are frequencies that lend themselves to each of the chakras. The throat chakra, the frequency is 741. You can find not only instrumental music that just is 741 hertz, but you can also find music that is popular and out there that also incorporates this. And so go put on some music, get into a place where you're in a safe space. Have your journal there if something comes up that you want to write about, but don't have any expectations that you need to. And just be like in the moment for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and see what comes up. And also join our Patreon. The more help that we get in supporting our Patreon and supporting our efforts, the better off everybody will be. You guys, us, it's like this mutually beneficial experience that we're doing. We're putting a lot of creative effort into this initiative and we feel great about it. So
I think going back 1 second to journaling, writing it before you speak it is so important. And one of the things that we've incorporated into our Patreon, even the free one, is a daily affirmation. And we're like taking, I did the ones for January, she's doing the ones for February. Whenever I wrote these affirmations, I was very intentional about it and was really listening to my intuition, not knowing that I would need them when the day came. So every morning when I open up my email and I see our affirmation, I'm like, God, how does this land? Like,
no, I love that.
I'm like, I wrote this over a month ago. And it's like, oh no, this lands today.
We hold on to it for a brief moment and then we let it go.
Right.
And then it comes back and we're like,
right.
God, I'm a fucking genius.
Yep. You heard it here, guys. Fucking geniuses.
So I do that perk in and of itself. Again, it is pay what you can.
Yep.
So whatever you can afford. And if that's the free version, then that's the free version. So you can find us if you are on Patreon. You just look it up, Two Mystic Mamas, TWO, and you will find our page. And we love you and we support the work you're doing. And thank you for supporting the work that we are doing. And go be the best version of yourself.
Bzz. Bzz. Spawn. Spawn. Love you guys. Bye.